All manner of interesting folk turn up here. Just last week we caught up with Helen and Simon Ward as they sail around the UK for the National Autistic Society. We met in the Waypoint bar on the Isle of Kerrera and had a chat about their mission. Now I have to apologise in advance for the rough and ready nature of the audio. Perhaps if you can do better, you might contact Helen and Simon directly. Apologies complete, let's hear what they have to say.
Well, I'm Helen Ward and
I'm Simon Ward.
And we decided that we wanted to do round Britain a few years ago, wasn't it?
Probably about 5 years ago.
But we decided that we'd like to do it for a charity. So we chose the National Autistic Society because we've got a family connection.
We have, yeah, a very dear family connection. A nephew of ours is severely autistic. I don't know whether you know, but there is an autism scale. And our nephew is at the lower end of it. And it's a challenge.
He's 21 in a couple of weeks' time, and he doesn't talk, he has no speech at all, and he's not toilet trained. And I think the challenge with autism is that the people who suffer from it are in a world of their own, really, and they found the outside world very confusing, very frustrating, too much information, and they can't process it. And the result is that they get anxious, they get angry, they get violent sometimes, and William is one of those at that end of the scale. In this country there's over 700,000 people who are diagnosed with some form of autism at different levels, and the National Autistic Society can help according to their need.
I think a lot of it is actually just sharing information, sharing experiences. And there is a central point there, being the National Autistic Society, that these experiences can be used and shared and passed around, because I think nobody has the definitive answer as to what autism is about at that particular level. We're based on the south coast of England, Chichester Harbour, and we're actually at Engine Ride Sailing Club. Which is inside Chichester Harbour, and basically we came out of the harbour and turned right. So we're going to do a clockwise route, and we visited a lot of the places down the south coast, and then moved up to the north coast of Cornwall and across to Wales, across the southeast island, Kilmore Keys, and then we worked our way up the Irish coast, and then crossed from Bangor over to Campbelltown, as that brought us into the Scottish Isles, Tyre. Still can't get the song out of my brain. And then we had a little sort of pass through the Crinan Canal, which was absolutely beautiful, and that really truly brought us into the Scottish Isles, and we washed up here. We're due to be in the Caledonian Canal for the 31st of July, and then pass through the Caledonian Canal. We can take our time, 4 or 5 days, and then we're down the east coast of England and heading really back home. We're very comfortable with 40 miles. 50 miles you start to feel it. 70 miles, yeah, you can't do too many of those, and we need to have a break in between. So a good day's sail for us is probably about 50 miles. Quite happy.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll find is that as we go down the east coast, we have to work more and more with the tides.
We bought this boat 2 years ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we were planning to do the trip. We knew we wanted a boat that we could use back at home as well, and so we wanted to try and stick with bilge keels, and we wanted somewhere that was a bit more comfortable, didn't we? So we went for the Moody 336, which actually has been brilliant.
Yeah, it's been a stunning boat journey.
Really sailed well.
Very, very safe, loads of accommodation on it, and it's been very comfortable. The only time that we were tested, and I think I was coming across from Padstow over to Milford Haven, so you had the Bristol Channel, we had the Irish Sea influence, and you stood in the cockpit and you're looking up at the waves and everything, and but the boat was good. A bit of a low point perhaps with the sea conditions, but a fantastic high point because we had dolphins everywhere, all around us, literally popping out of the waves. It was just amazing.
Yeah. Cornwall was very hot when we were there, and when we got round to St Ives, you hear about the light in St Ives, and it is really special, really beautiful. So the turquoise sea and the light there and the sunshine was really lovely. And then when we came through the Crinan Canal and we came down into the basin and we looked out at the islands and the sun was shining, I mean, that was, wow, this is why we're here.
But I think above all, the best experience that we've had is the people. The way that people have taken to us and helped us, given us further information, further contacts, it has been absolutely stunning. And that can be just from the harbour master to
passers-by. We've had people who've seen the banner who've asked us about what we're doing, and then they've actually followed us and shared it with friends of theirs as well. So it all helps to spread the word.
We're trying to keep up a pretty accurate blog, so anybody doing a similar sort of trip can get a bit of an idea of what it's about.
Don't swing on a visitor's mooring outside St Ives unless it's flat calm. To do it.
Yeah. Our target for the Just Giving page is 2017. So I think that the target is achievable. We will make that happen.
Yeah. We've had some really interesting support in different ways. For instance, C.J. Marine, they posted it on their news bulletin about our journey. And so they're following it, so they share it with their Twitter followers when we put a post out. But they've pledged £20.17 for every order they get as a result of putting our story out.
There is a link within the actual sail loft. One of the members of staff has an autistic child, and the manager of the loft has got an autistic nephew. And they have been absolutely excellent to us, haven't they? Really good.
I think if people follow our blog, if they look at our Just Giving site, and they just feel that they can donate anything, they can raise £2.17, £20.17, or whatever.
The challenge is raising awareness, keeping the blog up, and everything. It's just that trickle effect. You can't keep going around rattling a tin.
I think there is growing awareness and understanding about autism and the different levels of autism. When they show particularly autistic youngsters on television, it's often those who are actually highly skilled, highly gifted. So they're really good at maths or really good at music, or they can look at a building and they can draw it in detail, and it's fantastic. Those people still have their own challenges, but equally people at the other end of the spectrum who really don't understand the world we live in, and it's all terribly confusing, and they can't communicate, and there is an element of violence and things that comes through that. They are not always portrayed because it's not the pleasant side of it, but I think increasingly there is more understanding.
Well, I think one that's caused a lot of fun, or given us a lot of fun, is the AIS. So you find that you just arrive at a destination, you haven't told anybody, and they're saying, oh, we'll see you in Oban now. The other godsend is an autopilot, an autohelp.
I think having an electric windlass is good, and also we do have central heating. When the weather's not so good and it's cold, it's great. Put the heating on, and also the cockpit enclosure when it's wet, windy, and you can hang things up to dry and air and things in there. It just gives you a little bit of extra space.
Oban fascinated us, it read well, and we knew we were going to get stuck. So we thought, well, best to get stuck in Oban. It's actually really nice to be able to just be away from Oban, look at it over the water, but have a ferry service over there. and we're absolutely thrilled with the place. Yeah.
Really love it. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's like you say, that you can actually get to a bit more in terms of provisions and restaurants and shops and things, and the hubbub if you wanted, but you've got the peace and tranquility and a nice safe marina. Really, really friendly. This place is really great. We ate here last night, had a delicious meal. It was lovely. We were talking to Ollie last night, and he said the aim is to try and create something quite special and a bit different in terms of marinas and atmosphere, and I think that is the sense that we got.
Definitely. You can feel whether it's right, and this had that particular feel. Right from the first telephone contact, to arriving, to being looked after here, to eating in the restaurant here, to just the whole package. Really good. So they've only been in place since February. They're going in the right direction as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Very good.
A couple of days later, Simon and Helen set off early, headed for the Caledonian Canal and onward to the next part of their journey around the UK. Now, every passage under sail is a bit of an adventure, and these folks have a long way to go yet. Lots of places to see, and probably a good number of challenges before they get home, as well as trying to hit their target of raising £2,017 for the NAS, of course. Lots of folks pass through this marina, folks from all over the world: France, Norway, Germany, Ireland, the Caribbean, and all of them are leading figures in their own adventure story. It's actually us who are the minor, transient little footnote characters making a cameo role in one little chapter. And that's mind-boggling. Anyhow, we wish Helen and Simon well on their travels. It would be brilliant if everyone who watched this video gave their blog a look over, or donated £1, or just messaged Simon and Helen on Facebook and wished them well. That would be an awesome thing to do. There are links in the description below to allow you to do that. Cassandra out.